Amalgamation of various classical and folk dance styles awaiting you today. Another 5 minutes, I guess the dancers will be ready. They'll be out here to perform before you all. I just thought I'll give a short intro to the classical dances that they want to do. Okay, I'll start off with Bharatanatyam. We are all going to be starting off with Bharatanatyam. Bharatanatyam is the classical Indian dance. Majorly, it started off in Tamil Nadu, South India, and it's derived from the ancient dance in the treatise Natya Shastra. It was written by Bharata Muni in the 3rd or 4th century BC. The dance is known for its grace, purity, tenderness, and the poses. The name Bharatanatyam, there is one possibility of its derivation of how it got its name. One of the theories that people come up with is Bharatanatyam is the short form wherein the first part Bha comes from Bhavam, which means expression, and the second one Ra comes from Ragam, which means medium, and Ta comes from Talam, which is the rhythm. So Bharata comes from basically expression, medium, and rhythm. That's how it comes. And Natyam is dance. So that's how the etymology for the word goes. Today it's one of the most popular and widely performed dance styles, and it's practiced by both male and female dancers in the world. If you have gone around to any of the temples here or anywhere in India, or you've seen pictures, you would have seen that many of the sculptures in the temples are actually dance poses. So it is actually depiction of the celestial apsaras that we call, who are depicted in many scriptures, and they are dancing the heavenly version of what is known on earth as Bharatanatyam. So it is believed that the Lord, he comes to the temple as a guest, which is his abode, and he has to be satisfied in 16 different ways, out of which music and dance are one of the most important. So he is pleased by devotees offering their by dancing and by singing to the Lord. So we see that traditionally, and even now in many temples, they have these temple dances. There are few dancers who are actually appointed by the temples here, who are notified as the dancers belonging to the temple, and they perform for all the important functions of that particular temple. In the last few centuries, Bharatanatyam is deeply grounded in the bhakti, which is devotion, and dance and music being inseparable. It has 3 distinct elements to it, Bharatanatyam. So one is Nritta, which is the rhythmic dance movements, Natya, which is the mime, and Nritya, which is a combination of this Nritta and Natya. And it's very interesting to see that actually in India we have many dances, like every state has its own state dance, and we have folk dances. Across the country we have so many forms of dance. But it's very interesting that there are 5 major dances of India which actually correspond to one element each, namely fire, water, earth, space, and air. So Bharatanatyam is considered to be the fire dance, the mystic manifestation of the element of fire in the human body. And Odissi dance from Orissa, it is supposed to represent the element of water. Kuchipudi, which is Andhra Pradesh, that is again a southern state here, it's supposed to represent the element of earth. Mohiniyattam, which is from Kerala, and Kathakali, they both actually represent the elements of air and ether. So these 5 dances are actually supposed to represent the 5 elements of which comprise all material everywhere. So if you can see it today, I hope so, the movements of authentic Bharatanatyam dancer are supposed to actually resemble the movement of a flame. So as a flame moves or whatever, the dancers are supposed to move in that fashion. So previously, traditionally, it was supposed to be a solo dance program. Bharatanatyam was only performed by dancers alone in solo, and they used to depict all the characters. So if they are doing a story, they depict all the characters, they move from position to position, and they do the storyline. But in modern times, it's become more of stage performances, group performances, where each one depicts a few characters and they depict the story. And typically a performance, if you go to any classical performance outside, it would include a few pieces. Like first one would be an Alaripu, which is a presentation of just the rhythm, punctuated by simple syllables narrated by the dancer. And then you have a Kauthavam, which is a dance item, ancient traditional temple dance item in the recital. And then you have Ganapati Vandana, which is actually a opening prayer to Lord Ganesha so that the program goes without a hitch that day. And you can have many other items like a Shabdam. A Varnam is called the main piece of the dance program. So normally it spans about 30 to 45 minutes also in a 2-hour recital, and it depicts all the forms like the various postures that the dancer depicts. It has a lot of tala or rhythm in it. There are patches where the dancer actually emotes a lot. So that is the main piece of the dance program. Okay, so today we are not going to have out and out traditional dance program. So initially it's going to be about 2 pieces of classical Bharatanatyam, and then we have a few folk dance pieces depicting some of the states, like one dance is from Kerala, one is from Andhra Pradesh or Karnataka, the border of those 2 states. We have a folk dance from there. We have a folk dance from Tamil Nadu, and we have 1 or 2 numbers which have been adapted from actually films, but which are very nice for dancing in this style. So we have 1 or 2 of those numbers. And an interesting aspect of Indian classical dance form is how it is complemented by the rich vocabulary of Indian classical music. So we have a number now that interweaves mind and bodily expression with the technical aspect of Bharatanatyam. A dance composition set to the recitation of rhythmic syllables, where there is a depiction of Lord Shiva's dance to the recitation of Nandi. The composition itself has the term Nandi repeated to mark rhythmic intervals. This Nandi Challa is a composition of Sri Ramesh Babu. We have the dancers shortly on stage.
Shivam Shivakaram Shantam Shivam Shivakaram Shantam Shivatmanam Shivottamam Shivatmanam Shivottamam Shivamarga Pranetaram Shivamarga Pranetaram Pranatosmi Sada Shivam Pranatosmi Sada Shivam Sada Shivam. Nam Nam Tom Yes Tam Yes Nam Nam Tom Yes Tam Yes Nam Nam Tom Yes Tam Yes Nam Tom Tam Yes Nam
So that is actually Nandi traditionally plays the mridangam when Lord Nataraja actually has his dance in Mount Kailasa where he is supposed to be living. Nandi plays the mridangam. So those were the what can you say, postures that you were seeing. Then they were doing this actually. So in this case, Nandi is also supposed to be saying the cholle, which is the Tadingida Tom and all that which he was saying, and Shiva is supposed to be dancing to that. That's what we saw in the previous dance performance. And today's program is actually, it involves dancers from Omkara Dance Group as well as students of Sri Raga Dance School. So we had Mr. Rajesh, we had Mr. Shyam, Sujata Krishnan and Ramya dancing to the last piece. The next dance is going to be a folk dance. It is going to be presented by the students of Sri Raga Dance School. It is a folk dance from Karnataka which is called Keli K. Karnataka is a state in South India adjacent to Tamil Nadu. The dancers here pray to Lord Ganesha, the elephant-headed god, and the dance choreography is by Dr. Maya Rao of Bangalore. The dancers in this piece will be Jwalika Balaji, Minati Nambi, Janvi Umesh, Kalyani Sujit and Shruti.
Hare
So these were young dancers that we have. They are aged between 10 and 13 years old. The four of them are learning from Sujata Krishnan, who performed in the first piece, who runs the Sri Raga dance group actually. So the next piece will be Shakti Koothu. In this dance, the dancers depict the four goddesses. Goddess Saraswati, who is the goddess of knowledge. Goddess Lakshmi, who is supposed to be the lord of wealth. Goddess Parvati, who is supposed to be depicting courage and bravery. And Durga, who has actually formed from the combined powers of the Trinity, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu. And the song is in praise of the three goddesses, wherein the dancers or the devotees are praising them, saying that you are everywhere, You are the ones who protect everybody and you remove all evils. So please protect us too. The song is sung by the famous singer Nityashree Mahadeva. Shiva Shakti Shivashakti Shivashakti Shakti என்று குதித்தாடு சிவசக்தி என்றும் வாழி சிவசக்தி என்றும் actually perform with the young dancers. A small note about Omkara Dance Company. Omkara is a vibrant group of dancers who have one common interest, dance. This group comprises of people who are passionate about dancing, and the aim of this group is to bring together young, experienced and professional dancers to produce unique shows that will be enthralling and entertaining to the audience. Omkara is a very young group formed by the lead dancers Mr. Ajish and Mr. Karthik. They have given several performances across India, especially in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. They are popular in sabas as well as corporate circles in India. They have performed on several occasions for various conferences. And to mention a recent few performances, they performed at Dakshin Chitra for the ISNT National Conference. They performed at GRT Mahabalipuram for the Radiation Physics Symposium. They performed at Hotel GRT Chennai for an event organized by Ministry of Forest Department, and at Hotel GRT Convention Center for the New Year show organized by ONGC Chennai Club. And Omkara also trains children with special needs and creates a platform for them to perform. They have branches in 4-5 places in Chennai. In fact, actually this summer they had organized a workshop wherein these young dancers had gone to a few orphanages and areas where people cannot afford to go to classes, and they trained the children. They did workshops for them for about a month, and we even had a performance by them in one of the sabas here. It was really nice to see all the children, differently able children, also coming on stage to perform for songs in perfect coordination. In fact, there was a group of actually visually handicapped children who did a piece, and they were absolutely in sync, you know. I don't know how they did it. They obviously couldn't see too much of the person in front or behind them, but they were in sync totally. Their actions were in sync. The lines they were doing were perfect.
Sindhu.
So we'll go on to the next piece. It is called Dhimsa. It's again a folk piece, folk dance. It's a dance of young and old. Men and women actually perform this, and it's performed by various tribes living in the Araka Valley of Visakhapatnam district in Andhra Pradesh. And the tribals dance during the months of Chaitra, which is the Indian month, typically March, April, on weddings and other festivities. During the festivals, dancers of one village also visit the other to participate in the dance, and they join the community feast. This time, the unique feature, because they go across villages, is it channelizes friendship and fraternity between the people of the different villages there. The dance piece to be presented now, the dancers actually pray to the rain god for his blessings so that they may have a good harvest that year. Dance choreography is by Dr. Maya Rao of Bangalore. It's going to be performed by Jwalika, Minati, Janvi, Kalyani and Shruti.
Kali kali suman
see the kids, smiles and happiness in the dance. And I think given a choice, if we could go on stage, probably I was at least sitting here and kind of shaking. It's a song that all of us can shake a leg or a hand to, I guess. So the next item, we go to another folk item. It's based on the ritualistic dance form called Kavadi of Tamil Nadu. Here the devotees sing and dance in praise of their beloved Lord. And this Kavadi Atam takes one to the roots of Tamil Nadu, where the purpose of art is devotion. This is reflected in the joy exuberated by the devotees as well as the onlookers. So we now present to you Kavadi Atam.
Thank you.